Hey everyone, it's Trevor here with another Daclus quality review. This is part of my New Year's resolution to see every movie that comes out in my theater and give a quick little review while sitting in my car on my phone. Now I am sitting in my car, but this is not directly after the movie, and and it's not my first recording either because I made one and then my phone decided to screw up on me and just stop working. And then later today, my laptop also decided to stop working. So I've had a terrible day. I've reverted to an old phone that I had, um, and I was able to put my SIM card into that, get that as service, but it's terrible. I don't know if this is even going to work. I don't know how the sound is because I know I can't get sound through it really, so I don't know how the sound is going to come out in the actual video. But I am here. I'm going to give you another quick review, just sort of basically what I said last time. I'm going to try my best to give you what I said about this movie, X-Men Apocalypse. This one's a big one. I was really excited for it, looking forward to it. The trailers didn't get me incredibly hyped. They kind of looked a bit sort of dealing with epic explosions and stuff like that in CGI as more than a story, more just a bunch of crazy action. Um, but I was still looking forward to it, and it didn't. Wait, let me say this. Actually, X-Men Apocalypse. It's X-Men. They're mutants. They have superpowers. There's a school, and the world hates and fears them because they're different. And in this one, they have to fight a superpowered being called Apocalypse, who's maybe a god or something. Thinks he's a god, something like that. But basically, yeah, that's what the story is. He's trying to take over the world or destroy the world or whatever. Anyway, this movie, I was so hoping it would be good, and it is not. It's quite bad. Um, it's actually very different. I was expecting, like, at least some cool CGI and fight scenes and stuff, but actually, they were pretty bad. I mean, the best stuff was shown in the trailers in terms of fight scenes and stuff like that, because they're really not that good. They're really not good. There's some bad-looking fight scenes, and stuff like that in this, so it's not great. It's pretty bad. And the story is not good. It's a bit all over the place. Maybe the movie could have been longer, I guess. But, it's pretty bad. I mean, I think the best thing about this movie is the acting. I think the actors, for the most part, are pretty much all good. The only problems I had were, I'm not, and it's not so much problems, I just was unsure of, is the guy who plays Angel, I think he's Ben Hardy, maybe? Um, he kind of annoyed me. I don't know if that was just supposed to be his character or what, or I don't know. But he was annoying. I didn't like him. And you barely see him, so it's hard to tell for sure. Same with Olivia Munn. I don't know if she got more than one line. I can remember for sure one line she had. I don't know if she had any other ones. So I don't know what to think of her character and how well she played. I think, yeah, I don't know what to think of her. But other than that, everyone else, I actually really enjoyed as the characters they were. I thought they were well cast. My problem is with the writing and directing. I'd say Simon Kinberg and Bryan Singer probably need to go. I've been fine with Bryan Singer's X-Men movies. I haven't loved them. I know a lot of people do love them, but I found them at least good. I liked them as a kid more, but seeing them as an adult, they do not hold up particularly well. But I found them at least good or decent enough. They're definitely passable. I'd say Days of Future Past also passable. I have a lot of issues with it, but it's passable. This is not. This is just not good. And I think just this is sort of been, I think, the problem with the X-Men things. They haven't taken off like Marvel has. And even Batman v Superman, which a lot of people see as a failure, is doing a lot better than the X-Men movies have done ever. So it's just, it's not great. It sucks. I was so hoping it would be good, but this is basically the opposite of how I felt about Civil War and BVS, in that I really loved most of those movies, but I had some issues. I had some smaller, and I mean, there's some big issues too, but I, for the most part, very much loved them. Whereas, X-Men Apocalypse, it's the reverse. I hated most of it and loved bits of it. And the problem is, those bits I loved were geeky things. They're things that I could geek out about a bit, but in terms of actually a movie, they're not good. Like, they don't. If you aren't gonna geek out about these things because you read the comics or because you have some sort of huge past relationship, have you seen all the other movies? You have to have that stuff, otherwise those things aren't things you're gonna love. So it takes away from the overall movie. I loved it more than it actually is a good movie. I liked it, even though I still think it's bad. It's elevated because I geeked out, but at the same time, it's still very bad. I did the same thing with Fantastic Four, but Fantastic Four is worse. Fantastic Four is definitely worse, but it's still bad, and it's just not good. I have a slight geek out over Fantastic Four. I had at least I found it interesting in terms of how it was made, and I had an interesting Green Lantern. I thought I was gonna hate it more than I did, but there's those ability you can geek out over things. So if you're that type of person, go see this movie. If you're just gonna see it basically because you see them all, see it. Might as well. It's not good. If you're willing to miss it, I'd recommend skipping it. But if you're just a geek who's going to see it, like I'm not unhappy that I saw it. I'm still glad that I saw it because that's what I do. I'm going to see these movies. I love these movies, so for me it's worth it, even if excuse me, I'm losing my voice. I'm in. Today's been a long day, but yeah, I can't recommend you see this movie unless you're the type of person who went and saw Fantastic Four in theaters, even though you knew it was going to be terrible, because that was me, and Green Lantern as well. I'm just the type of person, even if I know it's going to be terrible, I will at least eventually see it in theaters. Maybe not right away. I did see this one right away, but it's not very good. I can't recommend it. It sucks. I wish I loved this movie. I really do. But I did like, I'll say this, I like the character interactions of characters like, Scott and Jean and Nightcrawler. Those three interacted a lot, and that was fun. Quicksilver had a very similar to the Days of Future Past scene, which was fun. I have issues with certain powers that aren't accurate to the comics. They messed up Cyclops' powers by making it sort of like heat vision, which it isn't in the comics. It's an energy blast. But even writers of comics mess that up at times. So I guess I shouldn't be too bothered by it, but it's a little bothersome, especially because they seem to do it as an energy blast, sort of an optic blast at first, but then it became later on a heat blast. I don't know. I had some issues, and Apocalypse's powers aren't particularly well defined. They just sort of, he does some things and you go, okay, that's one of the things he can do. And then he does another thing and it's okay, that's another thing he can do. And so he seems to have endless powers, but apparently he doesn't because he has to be defeated, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know. It's a mess. It's not great. I'm still hopeful going forward. I did geek out at stuff at the end of this movie to look forward to, but I hope it's just done by a better director, better writer, or writers. I think Bryan Singer and Simon Kinberg, who's been heavily involved with every X-Men movie and Fantastic Four, and I think he just needs to go. I think Bryan Singer needs to go. I think they're done. I think I want more X-Men, but I don't want this. I don't want what we got here. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. I have another review. I still have Angry Birds to see. I'm going to see it with my nephew coming up here. I have Alice Through the Looking Glass to see, and I have a different movie called Love and Friendship, I think that's what it's called. I don't know, it looks like a period piece of some kind. I hadn't heard of it, but I just found out it's in my theater, so I'm gonna go see it. I don't know what it is, but I'll check it out, and I will review it for you. Until then, thank you everyone for watching. You can check out, subscribe here to this YouTube channel, where I do more of these reviews for every movie coming out. I also, with some friends of mine, the light is so weird, but I also do trailer reactions with a couple friends of mine. We react to trailers for geeky movies, TV shows, or whatever, any sort of trailers that come out. So it's mostly comic book movies, but other things, sci-fi, fantasy as well. We also have a podcast called Geek Wars Podcast, where again we talk about the geeky comic book, not just comic book, geeky news each week about, whatever's going on in the world, geek-wise, comic book movies, mostly, I'd say, but there's other stuff, other sci-fi, fantasy, as I said before. What else? We got we got a Twitter, at Geek Wars Podcast on Twitter, and you follow me on Twitter, at Daclus. Spelling is the title of the video. Thanks, everyone, for checking this out. I need a lozenge. I was really upset earlier and just yelled my voice out because of my phone breaking, and it was my laptop breaking, because it was just sort of that straw that made me just start screaming and shouting to the skies, and I wore out my voice, just like cursing the heavens angrily. So yeah, thanks everyone. I hope this works out, this little video on my old phone. I hope I can even upload it. I don't know. Ugh, I'm scared. I don't want to get behind on this thing. Alright, everyone. Have a good one. Better than what I'm having right now. So, weird light. Whoa. Ah, that hurt my eyes. Bye!